let me invite Managing Partner Wang of Solaris Venture Partners.
Anna, that's such an amazing presentation. I learned so much about Fairfax and Virginia. I had no idea there are so many things going on out there, so we should definitely connect. And you set the bar very high, by the way. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Wang, and I'm currently a investor, venture capitalist, and also tech leader based in Silicon Valley. I currently manage a few funds. One fund is called Outpost Capital. It's a venture capital fund focused on early stage frontier technology investment. And I also manage a private equity fund called Solaris Venture Partners, where we primarily do growth stage investment in data center and AI infrastructure. That's another reason we need to talk. And also, we are heavily investing in robotics. And today, I'm gonna announce a new fund. Me and my business partner, Michael, is working on that focus on spatial AI. So spatial AI is some topic I'm particularly interested, particularly excited about. It's very relevant to a lot of problems today, but it's also a technology that built for the future, right? It's very future-proof. From the world foundation models to the physical intelligence, it's going to impact every single aspect, especially when we're thinking about what the future of an AI city could look like. So, you know, for me, I grew up as a sci-fi lover, right? So I love all this fascinating world and all these different stories. And most of the sci-fi stories kind of picture like the AI city of the future as something like this, right? We have like flying cars, neon lights, right? Holograms, things like that. But when we actually think about, you know, AI city, right? This is fascinating world, but this is a little bit too dystopian. We don't want to live in a world like that. The type of city that we actually cares is a city. If we think about what a city is a space that we develop a relationship with, right? We work there, we live there, we raise family there, we have our kids there. It's a place where we fully embrace and we love and we connect. That's what a real city is. So the AI city of the future should be clean, should be safe, should be sustainable, right? That's the type of city we want. And how do we get there? Using the technologies of the today to reach to this ideal version of AI city in the future. So in my analysis, I think these are some of the foundational technology stacks and building blocks that will close the gap of what we have today and what we want in the future. And I'm gonna break it down starting from here. So first of all, we need a better model of the world. We need better world foundation models, right? Because AIs of today, based on large language model, based on transformer architecture, is still very one-dimensional. We have one-dimensional input, we have one-dimensional output, and how the system works is a prediction machine, right? We are predicting the next open, right? So the large language model, although it has a lot of intelligence, it doesn't understand the world from the very fundamental perspective. So that's why the world foundation model is essential. So we can understand the physical world, we can understand the reasoning capabilities, we can understand, hey, if we drop a glass, it's gonna hit the ground and it's gonna scatter into pieces, right? We need to understand those kind of things. And it's not like fake understanding, we need true understanding. So that's world foundation models. Second thing is SLAM, right? So the digital world, because AI live in the digital world, right? So the digital world need to understand the physical world, not only from a 2D perspective, but also from a depth, from a 3D perspective, right? Think about like the cameras we are using today. Most of the cameras are still RGB cameras that only capture 2D data. Our eyes, right? If we close one eye, we only see like a 2D image. But the world is 3D. We need 3D information. So in order to have a better representation to understand what's the layout of the city, what's going on, here's a bridge, here's a road, here's a building, right? Then we need better SLAM technology. And of course, we need an agency to touch into the physical world. And robotics is our physical agency to make impact, to make a real impact from the digital world into the physical world, right? And today at CES, we see so many new robotics that's already happening, right? A lot of companies, a lot of humanoid, a lot of quadrupeds running around. And this is another very important building block to get us there. And also, with the agencies, we also need the planning, right? We need to allocate tasks, and we need to tell them how to do it, and they need to work together to get the job done, right? So we need agentic planning, we need cobot solutions, so human can work together with robots, and we need some kind of orchestration and swarm technology so that different type of robots can work with each other as well when delivering different tasks. And also we need edge AI, right? So like, a lot of things, data center, we are talking about like 70 billion models, right? And all these kind of ultra large language models. But then we also need the system to have ultra low latency, and sometimes, we need some kind of on-the-fly education, computation, and also computation on the edge, right? So especially thinking about a lot of IoT devices and things like robots, we need fast reaction. So edge AI is also essential to the equation. And also, we need a better infrastructure, right? From data center to renewables, we need a full upgrade from the existing infrastructure in order for us to live in a clean and more sustainable city and environment, right? And how do we blend everything together? We need digital twin, right? We need some kind of test run to plan things out so that we can use digital twin as a testing and experimenting ground. And when we are ready to deploy, we deploy at a simulated sandbox first before we do the actual deployment to the real city and make real impact. So these are some of the fundamentals. In summary, I think all the technology I mentioned so far are part of the building blocks of what I call a spatial AI. And some of you may haven't heard about this term spatial AI. And I'm going to give you a very, very simple definition. So spatial AI is where AI and 3D intersect. So anything for AI in 3D, that's spatial AI, right? But for large language model, language is one-dimensional, right? For like image processing, image is two-dimensional. Those things are not spatial. But then for anything 3D, right? Immersive technology, simulation, digital twins, world models, everything in that category belongs to spatial AI. And like I mentioned earlier, spatial AI is a type of technology stack built for the future. But in order for us to get into the city, the AI city of the future, we definitely need spatial AI, and it's one of the fundamental technology stacks to get us there. So how do we implement, right? So I think here's a process. We need sensing. From the sensing, we can develop the world model. And from the world model, we have a decision engines, right? We know what we can do. And then from the decision engine, we can do planning, logistics, and then we use robotics to actually deliver those tasks and make the impact in our physical world, in the AI city that we live in. So the process is also very simple, right? See, sensing, right? Reasoning, doing the calculations, and then act, doing the execution, right? And also, one more thing I'd like to mention is that the city is an open space. We want the citizens to connect with each other. We want the citizens the community to to be as embracing, as open as possible, and we want the people to be able to have different kind of interactions with the utilities and with different kind of systems that that provide different kind of functions within the city, right? So we want the city to be as open as possible. So that's why I think it's important to invest in spatial AI, but it's equally important to invest in the open ecosystem, open source, open innovation, open collaboration. And with that, I want to invite my dear friend and business partner, Michael Gold, to share the stage with me, and we're gonna share some exciting new announcement about our next fund we are working together.
Thank you, Ryan, and I'll present the next few slides, and then we'll open it up for questions. So, what we want to say here is that there's an order of operations in order to foster a AI city. First, before we create policies, foster world models, as Ryan said. When we learn to walk and we learn to navigate the world, we do not learn language first. We learn by moving around and doing. In order to do that, we have to build digital twins. Think of it as a digital sandbox for the physical world. In order to build your AI city, you must create an innovation sandbox. NVIDIA is pushing this very hard with their Omniverse systems, which are open source, with their Isaac Sim and Isaac Lab systems, which are open source as well. Your roboticists, your companies that are innovating in your AI cities already know about it. As the city, you can bring your data to the forefront for them. Not all data, but some of it to give them edge autonomy. We know from history that centralized planning does not work. When you give certain power to the universities, to the companies, to the open innovators, the indies, that's where you win. So, I'm going to go through these very quickly. We'll share the deck with you if you want. Just feel free to message with us on LinkedIn because we don't have a lot of time. But very, very important point to drill home is open infrastructure does not equal open everything. You, as a city organizer, can determine what parts you want to share with the ecosystem. So, again, we want to announce our fund, DepthMap Ventures. Ryan and I are big ecosystem builders. We've organized events across New York and the Bay Area with over 50,000 people.
Asia as well, in Korea.
And Asia as well.
Yes.
So we're happy to talk to you about what it takes to build your own open innovation ecosystem. We've also started tracking the entire ecosystem map of what goes into open source infrastructure for robotics, for physical AI, for spatial AI. And this is an interactive map. You can scan that QR code right there and it'll go to the website that lets you interact with this. It works on mobile, it works on the web, so this is early access right now. If you are working with companies that aren't on this map, please message us and keep in touch. We'd love to learn more.
And it's interactive as well, so you can click on it to learn more about the companies.
And this is us. We're very accessible on LinkedIn, and we'd love for you to keep in touch with us and keep in contact, and look forward to your questions.
Thank you. Do we have a Q&A session? Thank you, guys.
So message us directly on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing the valuable insights with us. Today's forum has been a meaningful opportunity for sharing ideas and great opportunities to connect the future relationship. Thank you very much for all the speakers and everyone who joined with us today.